At a glance at the differences between the 2015 and 2020 Welcome to Platinum City Gaming videos off of the PCG YouTube page, the story of Platinum City Gaming's growth looks like a proud and tremendous success. But those videos only show you the experience the venue offers, rather than the experience of the life of the venue itself. The only person who could possibly be prepared to orate the story of PCG and his life around it is the founder and co-owner of PCG, Van Lattimore. Van knows he's not the first person in the region to try to open a public lounge for gaming, or an arcade, long after the American arcade era had ended. I'm sure he knew this going in, but he'll be the first to tell you of his struggles.
That day, I came in and everything was gone. Like, it had me in tears. Like, it was the most emotional thing I've ever been through.
And in acknowledgement of the struggle, and because he is an earnest, sincere person,
it's too much energy to be anything else.
Van is able to make allies of all of the other venue owners and tournament organizers in the region, and communicate with them in order to ensure that the greater community of New England is always aware of what options they have available to them.
If we can share the wealth, like, why wouldn't we? This video game stuff will not work if we don't work together.
Our venues live and die like the human beings that occupy them, making memories that could last centuries. So whether you're watching this in 2020 or 2120, let it be evidence of what a kind-spirited man can do for a community like ours, which depends upon kindness.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Haney, aka Scion from Beyond Frame Data, and today I'm joined with
Monkey Business, co-creator, editor, and co-host of Beyond Frame Data.
And today we are joined with none other, the one, the only, the king of PCG, Platinum City Gaming, everybody. Van, what's going on, Van?
What's going on, guys?
It's nice to actually meet you, Van.
Thank you. Nice to meet you, too. Thank you, guys.
Now, a lot of people aren't really too familiar with PCG or Platinum City Gaming, but to refresh their memories, talk to us a little bit about that and a little bit about what you do.
So, Platinum City Gaming is a video game. I like to call it a lounge, but we're past kind of the lounge phase. Right. So now it's like we're more of a gaming center. So, cool. Pretty much we're arcade / consoles / PCs. We even got bumper cars there now. We got a basketball hoop. We have a stage. We do karaoke.
You guys got a bumper car now?
Yeah.
I'm not lounging with bumper cars. I'm not serious.
Normally I did know all this information, but you guys have bumper cars?
Yeah, we have bumper cars.
Okay, that's not even, that's crazy. That's crazy.
I'll sign the waiver, I'll be in there.
The most important part of the entire place is we actually have a bar as well. So that is the best part. So we have a full liquor.
Oh my god, I'm in there.
Yeah.
If it's bumper cars, can you drink and drive?
Yes, you can.
Whoa!
You can't drink while driving because then it gets really messy, but you can
A bumper
drink
car
and then get
DUI
ready.
would be awesome. A B DUI would be wild.
Yeah, the only thing we asked is no one gets sick in there because I was the only one that came close, and I was like, all right, we're going to have to make this a rule because I'm not playing this up. So, but the drinking part of it for, the fighting game community has been huge. Like, everyone loves that. So we actually have a drink at the bar named after Pumper Jam. It's called The Pumper Jam, and it's...
Shout out to Pumper Jam. You have a drink named after you. I'm already mad. I'm already jealous. We are 2 minutes in. You're already mad. But take us. I want you to take us back a little bit, because Platinum City Gaming went through a plethora of changes, right?
Yes.
Talk to me about its humble beginnings.
So PCG's been around for 8 years now, about give or take 8 years, coming this October. Okay. And we started at only 500 square feet. So now I wasn't even going to open PCG. This is something that I've had in my mind for years. I was like, I want a gaming experience where everyone can come together and play like we do at our house. Mm-hmm. Bring that couch co-op into a place.
500 square feet sounds like it.
You know what I mean?
Very
so, my best friend had a barbershop right next door to this little place. He's like, listen, I'll pay for rent for you if you get this place. He was like, I want you to get into this place. He's like, this has always been your dream. And I'm looking at it and I'm just like, I can't do what I want in this space. So what am I supposed to do? Yeah. And he was like, I think you should get into tournaments, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, and at that time, the only tournaments that I was involved with was you come on the couch, you play, and if you win, you stay. If you lose, you pass,
It stays on.
So I was like, I don't know if I can do it. So we slowly started opening. The first year opening, I actually charged nobody anything besides for tournaments. That was the only thing I charged. But if they wanted to come and hang out for the day, It was no charge.
Oh, that's
People
awesome.
bring their own stuff.
Nope, we had 2 PS4s, 2 Xbox Ones, we had 2 Wii U's, and we had a couple of the consoles, like classic consoles and stuff. So that's where we started. Once we got into Smash for the Wii U, the place immediately got packed. Like, you could hold maybe 20 people in there, and it was uncomfortable. And so once we got to that point, I was like, all right, my friend that paid for the place, the barbershop, moved. So the landlord wanted us to move to the bigger spots, and that was like around a little more than 1,000 square feet. So I'm like, oh, I can do this.
Yeah.
Like, I can do this. My best friend again is like, hey, listen, I'll pay half your rent. He was like, if you move into it, because we're always about supporting each other. So he helped me with the rent when I was there. And so we moved to the bigger spot. And moving in there, got more people in, and Smash grew more, and eventually, and then eventually, just want to say, right, the worst thing to have,
Say what you need. Say what you need.
the worst thing to have, right, is 50 Smash players compressed into a space with a broken AC in the summertime when it's 100 degrees. It was not fun. But I give everyone props because everyone always stayed, so God bless.
Amazing.
And then we started hosting Street Fighter there.
He's
And
an investment, Andy. People aren't leaving.
yeah.
Matt, you might have to do the rest of this on your own.
Well, then I get introduced to our boy Lucky D. You know, shout out to Lucky D, traveling controller, and we started working together. And he was helping us with the Street Fighter community, and that's when, you know, a lot more Street Fighter players started coming in, and that was fun. So that's when I hosted the first Battle Dome, which Battle Dome is like our premier event where we host all our fighting games. And so that was the first Battle Dome, and that was a really hot day. Like, we had 150 people transition. We didn't have 150 people in there at once because we couldn't do that. 150 people transitioning. So that was fun. I got spanked in Tekken, and that was my game, and I thought I was good. And
Which is a good next question for me was, what was your favorite?
my favorite fighting game? I would have to say Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo is my favorite fighting game of all time.
I might take you back there for a minute. You said that you had always wanted to open a space like
Yes.
PCG for people to play games.
Yes.
What were some of the formative experiences that made you want to create something like Platinum City?
Number one, PAX. Without a doubt, PAX. I was looking for my PAX shirt to wear today, and I was like, damn, I can't find it. I gotta go. But no, PAX. The PAX experience is by far the best experience for anyone that's in the video game. So I've never missed a PAX, ever. I've even made some sacrifices that very frustrated my wife to go.
Every ticket to sacrifice, man, every show.
But it's the one thing that I have that I really want more than
That's yours.
anything.
Yeah.
So I go up there on Thursday night and I come home Sunday. We stay up in the hotel. It's like a group of us. But the experience that you have at PAX, you're meeting people from all kinds of different countries. No matter who they are, no matter what they look like, their gender, their nationality, their religions, their beliefs, everyone talks to everybody. There's nobody that doesn't talk to somebody. And having us like that is where I'm like, yeah, no, this is what I want to do. Like, this is what I want to do. Because I've always had my own personal experiences. In school, I've always had a group of friends at my house. Everyone came to my house, and my dad bought me all the video game consoles. So, like,
Oh, yeah.
PlayStation came out, I had PlayStation.
Designated host.
Yeah, so everyone came to my house. My parents did everything to keep me home. And so all my friends always wanted to come to my house. I hated it because I'm like, I want to sleep out. So, but it was fun. And I was just like, this has to be like a me-only thing. So when I got out and started experiencing with PAX and meeting a lot of people that I met, I'm like, nah, this is the direction. I think that's the right thing. So, and that's kind of what made, you know, PCG even possible. And that's still where it thrives, where we're looking. And now we do a lot focused on the youth, but that's because the youth really needs a place to go. But we're starting to swing back around, and my main focus now is to start bringing the hardcore gamers back into it. I want to start doing a lot of things where it's not just like, hey, this is pop. I want to do, hey, this is outright underground. Like, this is something that people would appreciate. So, like, a lot more of the Super Turbo stuff, a Third Strike stuff, something that you won't see really on the mainstream, but people will come out for. I've been asked by a bunch of people MVC2, you know what I mean? But
Really?
not just any normal MVC2,
Oh.
either for the Dreamcast,
Speaking my language.
you know what I mean, or a real cab. I've had a lot of people in that do big things in that where they're like, we'll dedicate the machines, and that's always the hardest part of that.
Yeah, the equipment, right?
Exactly. So I want to bring that underground nature where you see, you know, underground Tokyo and underground New York, where, you know, you watch Third Strike, you know, the greatest combo block of all times that everyone got hyped about. Like, I love.
Man, I have no idea what that is.
That Perry, man. Anyone that's ever seen
about it.
something that thought it was hyped, I would be like, no. And then I pull out that video, and they're like, okay, that's the hypest thing I've ever seen in my life.
You show him dying of dead slow and J1 mashing.
That's like the first thing you say on a date, too. You're like, what do you think about this?
Yeah.
Watch the whole clip.
And if you hear a wow,
Yeah, if this
We're
is
good.
cool to you, I think I can get the check from here.
yeah, exactly.
You have to check for chicken skin and raised hair everywhere.
It's like watching Evo and then be like, no, that's
Put an amazing pin on the business aspect, the business side of Van. I want to take you from the player side of things. Take
Okay.
it all the way back, maybe when you were a little bit younger.
Mhm.
But you did mention Super Turbo.
Yes.
Touching base with Super Turbo, why is that your favorite fighting game? And what really got you into it? Like,
So the first ever fighting game I played was Street Fighter, right? And it was an arcade. And actually, a real little history that a lot of people don't know is where PCG is now is actually the first time I ever played an arcade cabinet.
What?
So the building's gone. It's a different building, but there was a movie theater there. And in that movie theater, there was Street Fighter. So that was the first time I got the chance to play a fighting game on a cab. And that's why that spot holds a little precious to my heart. And I've never really shared that with many people. Like, my father probably doesn't even really remember that. So
beyond frame data. First place you guys can see that.
It's going public now.
First place. You guys can find that.
So, but Super Turbo is real close because in my house, my father was very hard in the video games. I don't think there is anybody more hardcore gamer than my dad. My dad will go to GameStop and buy the dumbest game in the world because it's on sale. Like, if he finds a game that's $2, he's gonna buy it. He has the biggest video game library, right? He just buys the most useless games. And I asked him why. And I'm like, that's gonna be on probably PlayStation Plus, at least. So my dad was super into it. So the rule in my house was if you won, you got to stay and continue playing, but if you lose, you had to pass the controller.
Right.
He was incredible in Street Fighter, and I do not know why, and I do not know how. And it was between him and my uncle. And my dad was a Ryu player, of course, just the default, right?
Oh, he
and
just pressed A at character select.
it was the dumbest thing ever. And then my uncle was Guile, right? So I was like, all right.
This is everything I love right here.
So me, I'm a Ken player, and that's why, you know, Kev Tech is like one of my favorite players, because I'm just like, Ken, show me that Ken. Show me that Ken,
Shout us
please.
to the secret boss.
Your
So,
Uncle Shoto killing your father.
so my father would go 3 hours and not pass the controller, and it was the most frustrating thing in the world. And so we would just sit there and play until like 2 o'clock in the morning, just Street Fighter. Anytime I ever wanted my brother grounded off video games, I would throw on Street Fighter and just destroy him in it. And he would get mad, you know, he would rage, and then my parents would be like, why are you yelling? And he would never rat me out, and he'd get grounded, and he couldn't play video games. I'm like, hey, sorry, bring it in my room. sorry. But nah, that's Street Fighter holds a little place in my heart because people would come over and we'd play. I was very proud of that. But for some reason, I could never beat my dad. Like, I don't know what it was. Like, I could never beat him, and I wouldn't let me win. Like, he'd be like, all right, I'm done. No, you need to pick up that controller.
Yeah, you need it.
You know, I'm not done yet. I'm not done. Yeah, it's very frustrating. But that and track and field, we played a lot of track and field too.
Okay.
Yeah, track and field. But Street Fighter was the big one for us.
Perfect.
So
That's good.
that's why it's my favorite. So.
Okay.
I think it's so cool that your dad actually has internalized fighting game community philosophy independently.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you have to keep playing.
Yeah, and not
Like,
even
Winner
like
Stays On was in your life.
He would
Winner
just-
Stays On's in your blood.
Yeah.
he would just sit back with. He used to drink Grafenhappers, so he'd sit back drinking the beer, put the beer in his stomach, like, and it would just make you so mad.
You remember the Homer Simpson thing?
Yeah, it'd make you so mad. And Like, not even once would he say. I think once I had him put the beer on the table and set up. And I was like, oh, and then I think I dropped it. I think I dropped the combo, and I was like, oh.
You know the power increases when they sit up, right?
Yeah. Like, I'm like, oh.
Power increases by like
Shit just got real. It just got real. But yeah, that was my experience with Super Turbo. So
perfect. You opening up PCG now? Does your family like completely support it? How do they take it when they initially heard it?
So it's very hard because now it just takes a lot of time. And at first it was pretty easy because it wasn't open all the time. So it was very custom to whatever I wanted to be. Once I got my partner, Rashad, now it's both of us involved with Platinum City Gaming. Okay. We took it to the next level, and we're like, okay, this is going to be a serious business. And as you take it to a serious business, you got to handle it as a business. It's no longer a hobby.
It's not fun.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and that's when most of these grays all came from. It's a whole different world because, you know, my partner, very sensitive to like being happy. Like he does a lot of entertainment stuff, so a big part of his thing is entertainment. He always wants to keep people happy and stuff. So, but at the same time, he's a very business oriented guy, you know, and that's the way it has to be. I became business oriented where it's just like these things have to make sense. Like we can't just do something. Like someone comes in and be like, "Hey, you guys should have a Mario tournament."
All right, look, but if the money isn't there,
it can't do it.
Right.
And you're like, which one, bro?
Yeah. It's just like, oh, Mario Party tournament. I'm like, well, that doesn't exist. I can make a Mario Party tournament if I really thought about it.
I play a mean book squad.
You could do like a mini game. So
Mario Party.
I'm only playing 5.
Kind of.
I've heard that a lot. I've actually heard that a lot. Yeah, 5 is a favorite. 5 or 4. So I love.
But as a tournament, though, you only want that to be one round in a mystery game tournament at best.
Exactly. So, you know, when it comes to video games, it's a very small circle of things that you can really do competitively. Outside that, when you do 5-on-5s, it becomes very difficult. Right. So people are like, oh, you should run, you know, Call of Duty tournaments. Do you know how difficult it is to get a team of 5 to come? It's very difficult because now a lot of the players are across states or across country. They can't just come to the lunch. And a lot of our tournaments, there's no money involved if we can't get everybody there.
That's just being real.
Yeah. And in the house tournament, that's where the money is to help us pay bills. Not even really to be like, hey, let's make money, just to pay bills.
A venue's a venue.
Right.
A venue, yeah.
And where it comes in is like a venue like me, a venue like Jamie from Game Underground, which huge shout outs to Jamie. I love Jamie from Game Underground.
I want to talk about that.
I walk there.
Yeah.
I live right there.
Oh my God, God bless you. God bless you. I'll travel an hour every day if I wasn't going to get killed with my family to go see Jamie. I love them. But for us to survive, we have to have people come there. And that's the only way it's going to work, because why would you want to pay money to play in a tournament remotely? It just doesn't really...
Right.
You know what I mean? And then when you involve prize money, it's a whole nother game, because you got to make your money as a player. And you're not going to want to spend all this money and not make a percentage back of it. So it all comes to percentages. So that's when things get really edgy. And right now, like, we don't make enough to have like employment. So that's a big thing. So it's literally me and him there every day. And then from open to close. And we both have stuff going on in our personal lives.
No, right.
Yeah. You know, I'm married, I have 4 kids. You know, he's married, he's got 2 kids. So it's very difficult. And then he still has his entertainment business. I've still got a full-time job.
Because you have to do this after the 9 to 5.
Right, so we have to survive. You know, so we put a lot of love, and we want to make it where PCG is our main thing. Like, is our everything, where we survive off of. But that's why a lot of those things, like the bumper cars come in, the arcades come in, the bar comes in, because that...
You need a bar.
Yeah, the bar is the best way to help, because it levels it off. So now we're not relying on everyone just coming and playing video games, because reality is we can't charge everyone an arm and a leg to come play video games. You can do it at home.
Why would they?
Exactly. Right. So, but where it affects my family is with me being there all the time. It takes a toll, but you know, my family is incredible. Like, they're super supportive. There are days that are worse than others, but at the end of the day, like, they've had my back. I wouldn't be here and wouldn't survive if it wasn't for my wife and my kids. Like it has been.
If you wanna drop a shout out, so we can do that now. Seems like a perfect
I do
time.
shout outs to the wife and the kids. Like it's impossible. The support and the love, and like I would have mentally broke down a long time ago. If it wasn't for that. So, and in those days that I'm like, I can't do this anymore, they're the ones that'd be like, yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. So
try to get there.
so it's just like the love and support with that is definitely what makes it,
awesome.
impossible for me to keep going. So.
Now, you did mention, shout outs to Jamie of Game Underground. Yeah. You mentioned that you guys have a good relationship. Mm-hmm. You guys are really close. Most people who, have businesses that are similar to that would consider each other, competition because you guys are both in the same field. Like how did that relationship, I guess, traverse that? How did you guys go from, we're both doing the same thing, we're both competition, but there is some kind of like mutual respect there, mutual love there for each other. Like how that happened?
So in the very first PCG, the 500 square foot place, first thing I did was I do my research. I over research everything. So yeah, it's ridiculous. I'm so anal retentive with everything. It's crazy. So Jamie was somewhat the closest video game center to us. Talking an hour away, so it's not close, but it's close enough. So I reached out to Jamie and I just said, hey, listen, my name's Van, and I'm opening up this spot, and I just want to let you aware. If there's anything that I can do, which I'm sure there's nothing I can do because you've been doing this longer than me, let me know, and I'm happy to help and be a part of that. And I'd love to work in the future. And Jamie was like kind of shocked by it. And he was like, oh, that's cool. He was like, cool, nice to meet you, blah, blah, blah. So we talked through social media. Anything he posted, I shared. Any event that he had, I shared. And then we got to meet, and it just clicked. And once we met, it was just like, it was awesome. And his first, I can't remember, it wasn't GamerCon, it was Gums. And the first Gums he hosted,
oh my God, I love Gums.
He was like, can I help? And he was like, sure. What would you like to do? I'm like, do you need systems? Do you need help TOing? And he was like, systems and TOing's great. So I was like, cool. He's like, well, how much? Jamie, don't worry about it. Like, let's just work together. I was like, this would be awesome. And they fell in love with that. And anytime I seen Jamie just ran all over the place, I tried to help as much as I can. And I told him, like, listen, I'm not doing this because I feel like I have to. I'm doing it because, like, I get it. Like, and they're just their kids are amazing. Paige is fantastic.
I watched Paige grow up.
Dude.
That's wild, right? Like,
you need to have Paige on the show. All right? Like, Paige.
She's a little older.
Paige is the best interview I have ever had.
She's the boss.
All right? Like, so at GamerCon, we always do an interview with a bunch of people there. And we usually play a game while we're interviewing. Not with Paige. We need to have a straight focus with her because she is. And man, she is a ball full of firecrackers.
One PAX, I was supposed to work for the Game Underground booth.
Which is absolutely insane because they're always busy at PAX.
They're always busy. But it was just one of those, like... Shout out to Jamie, I woke up late. So I woke up late. I'm coming in, but it's PAX. You can't see me in a crowd.
Yeah.
I'm coming in, sneaking in the back.
I've been here the whole time.
I go, yeah, so I get through the curtains, and it's Paige. She's like, you're late. But it's like, I'm like, what? Give me your mom. What? She's the boss. I was like,
she is the boss.
Give me your mom.
She is the boss.
No amount of stealth games had you ready for me.
No, I was like, I should be ready. I'll just act like I'm assisting with some customer. I'm like, yeah, we got it right here for you.
First, this alert plays over her head.
Yeah, the snake, alert came up.
First time I met Paige, they introduced me to her, and she stuck her hand out and she's like, I'm Paige. Nice to meet you. I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, you're the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life, and I have kids. Oh, she's fantastic. She's fantastic. So, like, them over there, I see them, COVID or not, I'm giving them a hug. Like, I'll wax myself down with any instance. I was like, yeah, oh yeah. I love them. They are a second family by far.
Now, out of all the genres that you host, at PCG, what is your personal favorite? What is your favorite genre?
All right, so that's a tricky answer.
It doesn't have to be fighting.
So fighting games are my favorite to experience. I think nothing beats fighting games competitively. I think the nature of it, the competitiveness in it, the players are so fun. You know what I mean? Most of the time you lay back. Now there's a couple local stuff that goes on, you know what I mean, that we all know of, that gets a little heated. But I think when we avoid all that, even with that, it's such a passion and a love for the game that everyone respects it. And there's nothing better than seeing a good pop off on stage. I always love it. And it's intense to watch.
Yeah.
It's intense to watch. Like, Dragon Ball FighterZ has to be probably like one of the best fighting games to watch.
Yeah.
It is.
I'm so glad we caught that. I'm so glad we caught that. Talk about it.
It is one of the most intense. So first, I'm a huge Dragon Ball Z fan. So huge that I have the collection on VHS. I was at Target.
Stop it.
Every
In
Tuesday.
the house, in the comedy house.
I will show you my videos.
Stop.
They come together and make the perfect. It's uncut and everything. I love it. So, going back to that animation, I didn't think it was even possible. Going back to 2D, I didn't think they could do it. After having Budokai and Tenchi, and I didn't think you could do it. 3D.
Shoutouts, hold on, I'll say shoutouts to Vegeta's black leather jacket though. They had the Budokai suit, that was dope. That was cool. I like that.
Budokai.
But no, they could. I didn't think.
Dragon Ball is meant for 3D games, right?
That's what we thought.
That's what we thought.
And then I'm like, I did feel good. I was like, you know what? We need a change. We do need a change. So it was about time for a change. We got that change, and I'm like, this is the best, because it's best when you don't know it's coming, and you get it, and you have that feeling. You
never knew you needed it.
Yeah. So I'm trashing it. So I'm just Kid Buu.
Oh, you're good? What do you mean?
Android 16.
You're a good player. What are you talking about? You're an amazing player.
And,
top 8.
And now, only because I watch Evo, Goku Black.
And
No.
I hate Goku.
But I'm not good with Goku Black. I want to be good with Hit though. I enjoy Hit.
This is one of the characters. Those are all good. Honestly.
But Kid Buu, I'll use Kid Buu until he's gone, and then after that, I'm like, the game doesn't even matter anymore. I don't even care. Kid Buu is so fun to use. I love Kid Buu. So
it's great to be enabled.
yeah, right.
Reach across the screen with 5M.
That's what I'm talking about. But I'm really bad at combos. I can't hold a combo to save my life. So, and then that game is block heavy.
You're stuck.
Yeah, it's not Marvel vs. Capcom, but it is Marvel vs. Capcom.
It's anime.
Yeah.
Right? So it's anime. Anime where like you're stuck.
Yeah.
You're just stuck. But it's not Marvel where in Marvel you're stuck for about 10 seconds.
So
you're dead or you're winning.
I love watching
something's
MVC for about maybe 15 minutes, and then I'm just like, I can't, I can't do it anymore. But like when you get really good fighters, it's hype. Like it's hype.
I never thought I would love Sonic Fox versus Goichi the way I did.
Yeah.
You talked about how you reached out to Jamie on your own and started that relationship and then friendship over the course of several years to the point where you know his kids, family, and love them and adore them.
We send each other the most random stuff on like Facebook. Like anytime I see anything Ninja Turtles, like I send it to him.
Oh, he's a huge fan.
Yeah, send it to him immediately.
Yeah. Have you ever imagined a series of events where you didn't reach out to him?
No, I always like even when this whole chaos thing came out, like with the arcade thing, he reached out to me and was just like, hey, listen, he's like, I don't know what you have in mind as far as the arcade. And I said, listen, I'm open part-time and I don't have the problem that you would have arcade-wise because I can always open up my consoles. You know, so there's a lot of things I can do to work around it. And he was super supportive on that, but I told him, I was like, Jamie, like anything you need, like literally anything you need, please call me. Like, and I'm happy to help. And, you know, a big thing, Jamie was like, well, I don't want to put you under the microscope for anything. I'm like, Jamie, I don't care. I was like, you can put the freaking telescope under me if you like to. I'm like, I don't care. Like, I just want to make sure everyone in our family is okay. And whatever I can do, and my partner can do, and PCG can do as a whole, like you tell us, and we're there because Jamie has been extremely supportive. He's helped us with so many things. He's shared things about PCG with everybody. He's told people to come down from Natick. If they had a visitor down there that came from down this way, he'd be like, you gotta go see my friends from PCG. Nice. Like, Jamie sits down at GamerCon and sits down with the interview. He takes over. It's the Jamie show from there. It is the Jamie show every time. And I told him, every single time you sit down, you do this, it's all you, man. Like, I'll give it to you every time. So
I just want to blatantly compliment you both on that natural cooperative spirit, because in the FGC in particular, there's a lot of community discourse about how we are self-defeating and non-cooperative and competitive and can't share any wealth or glory or players at tournaments or something.
I think that's so false in reality as far as even venue owners. And I'm not saying it doesn't exist.
Yeah, because a venue owner is also different from a tournament organizer.
Right. So, you know, it kind of comes in the package with Jamie, but Lucky D has been that same thing. Lucky D is his own entity, but I've always seen him as a part of Game Underground because it's just like you've always seen those two together.
Right.
But Lucky D is now evolved into a person that's like, hey, I want to see the FGC grow, and it has to be outside GU. You know what I mean? And he does it any way possible. He's always extended himself. And this is a topic for another day, but sometimes I think he extends himself a little further than he has to by himself. He's got to realize he's got a whole team of support, and I think that's super important. The stuff that Lucky D does on his own is impossible feat for almost anybody, and he needs that team to help support. So that's why I always offer.
You would be the 1 millionth.
Oh, I know I'm not the only one.
Person.
Yeah,
but
I know.
It needs to be said, so
and I've yelled at him for it too. Which I know I'm not the only one that's done that. So, but even on the TO factor, something with me is I'm a very straightforward person. I'm always honest with everybody, and how you see me is how you're gonna get me, and that's it. It's too much energy to be anything else, especially at my age. It's just too much energy. I don't have the time, I don't have the patience to change myself for anybody, but that's not how I was raised anyways. So with saying that, that's why I mesh so well with other TOs. So I'm just like, hey, listen, if we're gonna make this work, there's enough gamers in the world for everybody. So if me and Jamie were to be like, no, I'm gonna downplay everything you do, he's so far away, like, there's so many people in Natick. Why, like, if we can share the wealth, like, why wouldn't we?
Be self-defeating.
Yeah.
In a community that hasn't really prospered yet.
Right.
Like what?
Exactly. And it's not like he's gonna get a customer that wouldn't come to PCG because they go to Game Underground.
We're stabbing ourselves here.
Right.
Yeah.
We all communicate. Believe it or not, like, I don't know how much everyone knows. Believe it or not, like, us owners and NTOs all talk. Like, a lot. Yeah, a lot. In the sense of, like, an event. If an event happens on the same day, that is very rare. Very rare. And if it happens, we usually communicate to try to change it.
Right.
Battle Dome. I want to kill Dan for doing this, but one time we were doing a Battle Dome, and Dan had a Tekken tournament scheduled on the same day. And the day before, he canceled the Tekken tournament, so that way Tekken players could come to Battle Dome. And I was like,
oh my god, I think I know this.
I was like, Dan, don't do that. He's like, dude, I didn't know Battle Dome. I was like, Dan, if you do that,
Too late.
you know what I mean? Like, it's way too late, don't do that. And he's like, no, we gotta make this happen because, like, we gotta get people. I love him for it, you know what I mean? But I'm like, you're gonna piss off so many people at you, you know what I mean? And that's not what I want. Like, if I don't get texting, that's fine, that's okay. But that's how much, like, everyone cares about each other's event.
Yeah.
Because guess what? If PCG does well for a tournament, G is going to do well for a tournament because PCG is going to advertise that.
Well, yeah.
This is so good to hear.
But I mean, in reality, right, it makes the most sense. If GU is hosting a tournament and there's a lot of people that's going to be there, it's going to get everybody there.
Yeah.
And that's important.
As long as you actually cooperate and commit.
It's all
Right. There's nothing more important.
I want to clip this in
video
real
games
life.
than that.
Clip that.
I mean, I'm gonna say it. There's nothing more important in the video game community than being a community. That's it. That's why it's called the video game community.
Title of the episode right there.
You know what I mean? Is this video game stuff will not work if we don't work together, and that's the only reason why we're at the level that we're at. Video games is the most popular it's ever been, ever. It is a part of our culture now. It is the #1 form of entertainment. I mean, that means I'm over-exaggerating a little bit, but my grandma knows about video games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that means a lot. You know, when I was a kid growing up, like, you weren't shamed, but it wasn't something you publicly spoke about.
I was.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I
But, like, but you know what I mean? Like, I was too.
It was a game.
Yeah.
Quite literally a game.
Yeah.
Wait, like,
what are you gonna do? Play a game for the rest of your life?
Right.
Yeah.
It's a game. Now, if someone says
It's a
that,
job.
it's a job. So you're like,
I'm only 23, but even I dealt with it. You can only do this on rainy days.
Yeah.
Thing.
Yeah, exactly. Now we have people like Robert Kraft that put these teams together that are getting paid salaries of $45,000 a year to be a part of a team and getting health insurance.
Oh. Yeah.
So I think
imagine getting your teeth fixed because you can do an uppercut.
You know what I mean?
Imagine if you can get dental.
You know what I mean?
Sure you can. Yeah.
So I mean, like somebody like Punk from New York, right?
He goes to New York.
Yeah, that's right. You're right. And I consider that whole group all from
It's
New
New
York
York.
because they're always in New York.
Yeah. Also, Punk at Red Bull Conquest New York went and won the New York event, so he had to rep the city of New York.
Yeah. Like,
so funny.
to see that like that group and how when I went to Defend the North for the first time, it's so awesome to see everyone get together and they talk about like their techs and it's a great thing, you know, and that encourages TOs to work together. It's like this is a great thing.
I think just to tag on to what you're saying, my first experience of that personally was at Evo when I saw like there was a Middle Eastern Akuma player showing Tokido Akuma tech. Middle Eastern Akuma player. Japanese player.
Yeah. It's just like, I don't think there's anything you can show this guy he's not going to know, but then there is.
But they don't give a damn about a language barrier. That's my thing. It was like, wow, that they can communicate perfect. And he understood him. He's like, oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah. But there's no language in there. There's no, I don't have to say anything to you, but you know what I'm trying to show you. That's amazing.
What a miracle.
That's a miracle.
The gestures.
You know what I'm saying. He's like, look, you're Akuma. Look, what do you think of this? He's like, that's awesome.
And how many different things in society can you do that you can break down a language barrier like that?
And
you know what I mean?
You can tell somebody how to make your demonstration of the tech work with gestures, like mash the button here, you know?
Yeah.
Point, mash, they'll do it, they'll get it, and then they'll be amazed at whatever happens after.
One of the best things about video games that exceeded my love for video games as far as the playing of it is, now, I'm not taking talent away because there is a talent, just like basketball. There's some people that are just born with the gift. Naturally pick something up and just run with it. You know, gaming is designed for anybody. Anybody. You can now be, you know, disabled in any sort of way, and play video games. There is a streamer, the Blind Gamer, who plays video games.
You want to talk about Blind Warriors fan from Street Fighter 5? Ken player who's won tournament matches offline?
You can be anything and still be able to play video games. And, you know, through our culture, it has been known like females are like, oh man, females can't play video games. And it's not like that as much anymore.
I don't know where that stigma came from.
I don't even know
why.
But I mean, like, you gotta think though, it was like that way with skateboarding. Like, oh, females can do skateboarding.
Yeah.
Like, it is huge. Now, there is certain communities that I frowned on, and I've seen some really bad stuff, and I didn't believe it until I actually experienced it. I'm like, this is disgusting. You know, but only us can change that. But that's such a small group, and it just sucks because it echoes.
We see the best player in the world record title holder for Battlestar Galaga is a woman.
One of the best first-person shooter teams.
Red Bull cam on the arcade. She took a picture while it was just doing it. Just nuts.
You're like, okay.
She's like the best player in the world, so I was like, alright, whatever.
Yeah, best first-person shooter team, in my opinion, is a group of females, the Frags. Then they have the group that plays Smash, like
the Smash Sisters.
Yeah, Smash Sisters. Yep, and they're all over the place.
Yeah.
But really, what other community can you say, hey, it doesn't matter? You can't say it in national sports because we have WNBA and NBA.
Yeah. There's a physical difference.
Yeah, I can't say it in NFL. There isn't even a professional female league. We would never accept that.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how that would.
As a culture, just nobody would accept that, and it's disgusting. And then like golf, right? You can't even go any more level as a physical sport than golf. In golf, they're still not even cross-gender. Video games, it hasn't even been blinked at. Yeah. Females can compete evenly with anybody. And it doesn't matter your height, your size, your age. There is no barriers in video games. And to me, that is the most impressive thing. But obviously anyone can pick up a controller and play, but then you have to
push it to that level.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The greats, to be a great, just like in anything, there's something in our brain that triggers better than what others can do. So
You'll be molding yourself for a long time.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I have one more, I guess, like business ethic question
sure.
before we move on to other questions. I'm not sure if you do
business.
too.
No.
Mine was more, what advice would you give someone who wants to start their own, whether it be like their own tournament series, or whether someone wants to start their own, just game station, I guess. Like, what would be your advice to them?
Lots of sacrifice. There is a lot of sacrifice. Always be on the lookout for what's going around. That's probably the best thing I can say. Always take in everything.
Okay.
Bad advice, good advice, everything, and learn from it. I think that's the biggest lesson you can learn. Don't be afraid to do something different because someone out there, this group isn't doing it, or the majority isn't doing something, doesn't mean you shouldn't. But look into it, do some research and stuff like that. This is financially is a very difficult thing to get into. I have never come from a background of money. I've said that I've owned every system, but that is really where I was blessed. I've had times growing up where we had no lights, you know what I mean? Yeah. Grew up where it was just like struggling was there. We were middle class, low middle class. So my parents were nowhere near money, but my dad always made sure it was the one thing that we had. And I was athletic. Like actually, my goal in life at one time was to play professional basketball. Until I realized 6'1" is nothing. When I got into when I got to college and started meeting real 6'10" people.
What do you mean 6'12" is the minimum?
6'12".
Let me tell you.
We're talking about that 6'12" is the minimum.
Let me tell you, if you have never met somebody that's 6'10" in real life,
human being,
and you meet a 6'10" person in real
nemesis
life,
out here, stars.
They're not that big on TV.
Oh, I know.
Because they're matched up with other 6'10", 6'12" people.
Like a super
crane
soldier.
your neck to look at somebody.
Yeah. I mean, even 6'6", is a night and day difference, and that's. But in all actuality, the culture I didn't like. I did not like the culture in professional sports. It wasn't for me. Politically, it just wasn't something I was interested in. So I knew I wanted to get into the video game business, and that was going to be my thing. And I'm super into computers, but that's always been my fallback for making money because I'm a nerd. So cool. I'm a geek. But yeah,
I mean that's
it's super useful. Yeah, super useful. Just don't tell people you know it because everyone wants help. So, but. Yeah, in the business aspect of it, money is super important involved in it, but there's ways around it. Don't be afraid to talk to people. Get out there as much as you can.
Like your best friend, right?
Yep, exactly.
Have to rent it first.
Yeah, him.
You were quick to thank him. It makes
oh,
sense.
that's huge. That's huge. Like he is like that's the dude that I say I love you to in public. I have no problem saying I love you to him. I have no problem. I don't care who's there. I've kissed him on the cheek, you know what I mean? I give him hugs, like we are family.
Yeah.
Like there's not, he is
that's
my brother. Yeah, definitely, 100%. So for him to do that still meant a lot. We never expect anything from each other. So for him to do that, it helped. And I couldn't be remotely where I am now if it wasn't for him, for his help. So that's huge. And stuff like that is what encourages you to keep going because there's days that you don't want to go. I don't know if you guys ever heard of, there was a time someone actually broke into PCG. And this was several years ago. I don't know how long ago it was, but this was in our second spot. And they stole at least $4,000 worth of stuff. PlayStation, they left the Xbox Ones, which was funny. They stole the PlayStations and the Wii U's, but they left the Xbox Ones. So that was our sense of humor for the day. That was our giggle for the day. We were like, oh wow.
You got to keep Halo, no fighting games.
They took the Wii U's over the Xbox Ones.
I think that says something right there.
They took the Wii U.
For all you Xbox fans out there.
They took our horror. We had a house stick. It was a horror stick, and I believe, I think it was Tom that gave it to me. Donated it to the lounge.
Wait,
Yeah.
Tom
Salesman, yeah. Yeah, I think he
hates.
I knew he has a heart of gold.
I think it was Tom.
I
could be giving Tom credit for something he doesn't even.
Which probably is right. You know what? I've been saying he's a great person for years.
Yeah.
I'm so glad the story came to light because I needed to reinforce it myself.
So I've had.
He remembers his Asian Tom and stuff.
But it was like a brand new. I know it's Asian Tom.
I'm wrong.
It was a brand new stick too, like unused. But we had a couple used ones. We had a hitbox donated and stuff like that. But someone stole the stick, and it sucked. And that day, I came in and everything was gone, and I didn't know how to react to it. I didn't know how to react. I called my wife and said, "Listen, someone broke in. They took stuff. You know, I'm locking up for the day." We ended up going to friendlies, and my wife posted on Facebook, and she was just like, "If anyone knows and sees anything, let us know." She didn't really advertise like, "Oh, please give it money." Nothing like that. It was just, "Hey, you know, within 24 hours, we got everything that was taken back, besides some games." But like consoles, people donated consoles, people donated money. That Friday we hosted a Smash tournament.
People there.
Yeah.
Like,
we hosted the Smash tournament, and everybody, because of Mars won first place, he donated first prize. And because he donated first prize, everyone else donated the pot. So everyone donated the pot back to the lounge. Like, it had me in tears. Like, it was the most emotional thing I've ever been through. And because that day, I was just like, where do I go from here?
Yeah.
After years of providing for communities, they just provide for you.
Yeah. And it was a struggle.
Good that the community gave back to you when you gave to them so much.
Yeah. And that's where I'm like, okay, I gotta keep going. Because there was so much that we sacrificed as the family that a lot of people don't know. You know what I mean? Like, it took, like, the lounge took all of my money. You know what I mean? Like, there was a lot of money that I poured out of my own pocket that was taken from my own mouth to allow this to happen. A lot of people don't know, like, I had my car repoed twice. You know what I mean? For not being able to pay my car. So, like, things like that, it really beats on you mentally, where you're just like, what do I do? You know what I mean? And at that point, you're just like, this is the stuff that you see in movies and people talk about, where they're like, you gotta hit the lowest of lows before you even see remotely close to the highs. Yeah. And that's kind of where I felt where it was. And when that happened, you know, that's, you know, my wife wasn't against the lounge, but she was just like, I hate this place. You know what I mean? Because it just got to a point, I'm there all the time. I hate this place. I hate it. So when she used to drive the bus, she would hear people talk about it, and that was kind of cool. So when this happened and everyone responded the way they are, she was just like, you can't stop doing this. You have to keep going. You got to keep going with it. And like I said, I was broken. I was just like,
no, I think that'd be it for me. I'd die.
Yeah, I was just like, what do we do? Like, I mean, how much I sacrificed to do this. So, you know, we keep going, and now we're fighting COVID.
If you guys are watching this in 2020, we are still fighting the pandemic.
Oh,
and if you've watched this, we haven't made it, unfortunately. The planet is overrun by damn dirty apes. The cyborgs know that it was because of you guys.
September 30th, 2020. Caesar's taken over.
I don't know. Someone made Robo Caesar.
You guys found out. That's it.
Robo Hitler and Robo Caesar teamed up, and now we're fighting the double forces.
And they only use COVID as a weapon.
Just know that the world was a better place before.
So that's why I believe in community.
Yeah.
I think so.
Moving a little bit, kind of taking a different turn here.
Yep.
More fun questions, more quick questions.
Yeah,
Can I ask you one more thing on a longer question?
Yeah, sure.
So, I dated the timeline based on conjecture of what I've heard today, because I still haven't been to PCG. I only moved here in 2019. I've only been visiting since like 2017. So, you said when you opened there were PS4s and Wii U's. I think PS4 was 2013, 2014.
Yep.
And Game Underground used to be Game Universe, and I know that was like mid-2000s, like very early. So
yeah.
Having that source of experience with Jamie must have been helpful.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Over the 7 years minimum that you've been running PCG, what are some of the facets of PCG that have changed the most? Whether it being space or having not just physical things, but also like culturally too.
We are involved way more with kids, younger ages. So that's been huge because now we can incorporate a little bit more. Fortnite obviously has changed everything. Fortnite's changed the aspect of gaming majorly in so many levels. And I was a big Fortnite hater when it first came because I'm just like. It was mostly because I wasn't good at the game, though. If I'm gonna be honest now,
it's different for me.
Yeah, if I'm gonna be honest now, it's mostly because I wasn't good at the game. But I just didn't understand the mechanics. I'm just like, it's not about shooting; it's about building. Yeah. Because in all actuality, like the building is the most important part. I've never seen anyone win without building. You know what I mean? So, and I'm not spinning my hand around in a circle to do it. I'm not doing it.
High execution game.
I need to be a good-looking gamer. I can't look like a silly gamer, you know? I'm one of those ones that, you know, I gotta look good while I game. You're smashing a button, I look good.
Gotta look good while
yeah, exactly. I look sophisticated while you play. Not with this beard, but you get what I'm saying. But with saying that, I think, you know, Fortnite's played a major part. Yeah. The bumper cars, like, experiencing things outside of gaming. You know, intersecting the other things to give people a break. I think that has been the biggest thing. I never thought that door was going to open. Yeah. I would have never... If you asked me when I first opened BCG, hey, do you have bumper cars in there? I would tell you, why the hell would I have bumper cars in there? And we have them and they work.
I'm going to be doing that in between sets.
That's
what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine taking out the frustration of a loss on someone in bumper cars.
Yeah. I have to say that was my partner's idea. I would, like, when he brought it, I was like, what the heck can we do? Bumper cars. And then as soon as the first day we got them, I'm like, I love these things.
Right.
That's a great idea.
You did so much research, but with bumper cars...
It was such a curveball thrown at me, and I'm like, what the heck are we going to do with bumper cars? But we had a lot of space. Okay. In actuality, we had a lot of space, and we needed to fill it. And we weren't filling it with consoles because we didn't have that kind of startup money. So we were like, what the... And he came up with bumper cars, and people love it. I can't take any credit for it. It's 100% him, and it worked. It worked, definitely. So now we're just really trying to ramp up the bar. The bar is the big thing.
You got food there too?
So we do. We have like pizza. We have a lot of gamer stuff, but we're going to open up to more. We have like noodles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ramen noodles.
Yeah.
We started to do corn dogs, but we got to be careful with the fine line of stuff we can do because of the type of license we have. So we can't just do anything. But we're trying to get to that point where we're more like BP. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where you can cook.
Yeah, like a cafe.
Yeah. So, but the bar is our crutch right now. Not too many people can say they have liquor. Full liquor.
Yeah, right.
Full liquor. Want some Jack and play some Street Fighter?
I'm sure you have some rules in place for that, like not bringing it over to the tables or something?
Nope.
Oh, trust!
Nope.
They have my menu and buff? Definitely.
I think you've sold everybody watching this. You live in Massachusetts.
Everyone always asks, like, can we take the drink? Like, yeah, please do. You know what I mean? Because most people are very careful. People are very careful.
Because they're gamers themselves, right?
So the breaking into the lounge was the only time we actually had real issues. Ever. We've never had issues with anyone really breaking. Oh, all right. We had somebody drop a TV, so that was pretty bad. That was pretty bad.
That sucks.
And that was frustrating, but it was an accident. The whole thing that frustrated me is I watched the entire thing go down.
Oh, and you didn't say anything in time?
And I was like, no, and they didn't say anything. And I watched her pick the TV up and walk away, and I'm like, did that just happen?
Oh, shit.
And it was someone that I really liked, and it's such a quiet kid. And I'm like, I
didn't want to hate you. I didn't want to hate you.
At the end, I had to pull him aside. I'm like, listen.
Oh no.
We have to talk.
No.
We have to talk. And then he didn't know how to react with it. And I was just like, listen, we're not going to hold you accountable. It was an accident. But the next time you break on my TV,
you need to come.
You need to come to me because I watched the whole thing go down.
That kid's about to be the cook in the kitchen.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I think I made it awkward for him a little bit, but the kid's a good kid. So
it's an awkward situation the moment we break.
Yeah. Even if you come tell me it's awkward. So, but I think all that stuff is the biggest change that we made, and it takes a little while. You know, it takes a little while to get used to, but we're getting there. We're trying to find that niche that makes us a place that everybody wants to go, and we're getting there.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
Honestly, I feel like I've learned so much about PCG that I didn't even know about before. So thank you so much for teaching me more about yourself, more about how you got into it. I think we're gonna end it there for today in this episode, but otherwise,
you guys do the lightning round?
The lightning? I don't know if we got 1 minute. All right, it's gotta be lightning round. All right, here we go, lightning round. Here we go. If you got a favorite player in fighting games, who would it be?
Local?
Yes.
Kevin
Ever. Of all time.
Kevin Tech.
Of all time, Kevin Tech.
Yeah.
Kevin Tech's an inspiration, bro.
Oh my god, he's actually on too much of his billboard.
It's because he's a Kent player.
Favorite current fighting game?
Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo stuff.
Always.
All the way.
Yeah, that's gonna be hard to get
You don't cheat.
Close second is Tekken 7.
Dragon Ball Z, your favorite anime, favorite character?
Favorite character? Piccolo.
Oh!
Piccolo. But that could change depending on what they come back with Super.
Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, or Dragon Ball Super?
Super.
The most?
Yeah, Super changed the game. Super changed the game. I almost didn't watch Super.
The Brawling movie, milk type. It was amazing.
Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Van from PCG. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much. This was an awesome pleasure. Blessing.
Alright, peace out, peace out, peace out, peace out, peace out. Goodbye, go away.
That ended right there.
Let's go!
Perfect timing.